From the News Channel 5 Network, this is OpenLine.
Good Tuesday evening, everyone. Thank you for being with us for OpenLine tonight. I'm Carrie Sharp. We have a great show for you tonight, especially if you're thinking about holiday travel. Tonight is about keeping those roads safe and keeping you safe while you're out and about. I have two wonderful gentlemen here with me from the state. Kendall Poole with the Governor's Highway Safety Office, and also Colonel Tracy Trump from the Tennessee Highway Patrol. Thank you, gentlemen. It's a pleasure.
Great to be here with you, Carrie.
Thank you.
We have a lot going out on the roads this time of year. Excuse me, I just got done doing the news. I'm a little hoarse. And obviously a lot more people on the roads this time of year as people head out to travel. There are a lot of things on their minds. We want to keep people safe. That's what you both are in the business of doing. Tell me, basically, give me an overview of what your agencies do.
Absolutely. Well, I've been the director of the Governor's Highway Safety Office for 10 years, and our mission is to reduce crashes and save lives across the state. We're a little bit different from anything else within the Tennessee Department of Transportation, which we're a part of. We receive federal money from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration to do educational campaigns, and we also are primarily a grant awarding agency. So we're kind of the pass-through from the federal government to the local governments in order to make our community safer all across the 95 counties in Tennessee.
And there are some different programs and different things going on that we'll talk about through the next hour to make all of that happen.
And the folks out there, Carrie, would know us through Booze It and Lose It and Click It or Ticket and everything that we've done over the years.
Okay, and Colonel, obviously a lot of folks know the THP. We see them out there on the roads, the troopers, know about the tickets you guys write, but you all do so very much.
I think a lot of people are surprised when we educate them on some of the things that we do. We have a Citizens Academy that we try to teach people all the different responsibilities we have. Not only do we write the tickets and work the crashes and assist the motorists, we have a very robust investigative side of the house that works on identity crime and vehicle homicides and all kinds of different felony and drug arrests. We have a special operations, which is a SWAT team. We have an aviation unit, which has 5 helicopters and a plane. We do a lot of assistance to local law enforcement because some of these services are very expensive to maintain and provide, and local law enforcement doesn't have all the resources that they need, and we end up supplying a lot of those resources with those 2 units. We have our own training division to train our troopers. There's about 850 state troopers in Tennessee, and then a support staff of about 200 more people. We're housed under the Department of Safety along with Homeland Security and Driver's License Division. So we have a lot of responsibilities, from a fleet department, a supply department, training, a research planning and development department, executive security for the governor, the first lady, and the first family, along with the lieutenant governor and speaker of the House, and all the Capitol security for the complex downtown. So we have a lot.
So you guys are doing a lot.
Yeah, we have a lot of responsibility, and a lot of people depend on us for very important services.
Very much so, very much so. Big change yesterday when it comes to both of the work that both of you all do, and something that we covered on the news side of things. Seat belt fines are going up, and there's a good reason for it. I'm going to let you guys take the jump off from there.
Absolutely, and Colonel Trott and I work extremely closely together, 365 days a year. Our mission is his mission, and he came to me about 3 years ago and he said, you know, we really need to do something about increasing our usage rate in the state of Tennessee. We're commissioned, or we're actually required by the federal government, our funding source, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, to do an observational seatbelt survey in Tennessee, and there's some funding that goes along with that, and Tennessee passed a primary seatbelt law back in 2004. So since that time, we've actually seen our seatbelt usage increase across the state. In 2014, we hit an all-time high of 87.7%.
And then we backpedaled.
And we backpedaled this year. We went back to 86.2%. And they say, well, it's only a percentage and a half.
Yeah.
Well, that represents tens of thousands of Tennesseans. And the big deal, Carrie, is that when you look at our fatalities, which is how we're judged, and he bases quite a bit of his enforcement off of this too, we're kind of judged on how many fatalities we have on the roadways, and as morbid as that may sound, that's what we're in the business of doing, is saving lives. So we know that seatbelts save lives. I can tell you that last year and this year, even with that 86% usage rate, over half of our fatalities have been unbelted.
Wow.
So you think about half of our fatalities coming from roughly 14% of our population, and that's kind of difficult to stomach. So we need to do everything we can educationally and enforcement-wise, in this case legislatively, to get the usage rate up.
Yeah, you mentioned that Tennessee has a primary seatbelt law. What does that mean?
Well, it means you can be stopped for that one offense alone. You do not have to have a companion case to be stopped for a traffic violation. If a trooper or police officer in this state sees you not wearing a seatbelt, he can effect a traffic stop based on that alone and issue you a citation.
And come January, that citation is going to cost you more.
Yeah, we really have worked on this for a couple years now. We didn't do it haphazardly. We studied other states that enacted similar fine increases that we proposed. The one thing that was overriding in our mind, it was Tennessee had the second lowest seatbelt fine in the nation.
Wow.
And it wasn't really providing enough of a deterrent effect to make people buckle up. So we felt like the higher fine, we didn't want to go over the moon. We didn't want to take a lot of money out of people's pockets, but we wanted it to be enough of a deterrent effect where they thought twice about violating the law. So we looked at all the other southeastern states and we came up with a number we thought was very fair and equitable, but also gave us enough of a deterrent effect where it would affect change.
So the first time you receive a citation for not wearing your seatbelt, it will cost you
$25.
And after that,
$50.
that should get people's attention.
Yeah, that's a little more than a Starbucks coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's right.
It's
What was it before?
It was 10 and 20.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So the states that we studied, and I can name them, they're North Carolina, Maine, Washington State, and the fourth one slips my mind, Connecticut. They enacted similar increases, and they saw a bump in their compliance rate between 4 and 11%. If we get that kind of bump here in Tennessee, that's going to equate to a lot of people's lives being saved.
And that's what it comes down to. It's not about making money.
No, and we really talk about that a lot, because the first thing people will say to you is that you're trying to raise money to complete a project or buy some piece of equipment or something like that, and that's not the case at all. We don't get any of this money. It goes into different funds that's been designated by the legislature long ago, and that didn't change at all. The money goes general fund and a vocational rehab fund, and that hadn't changed, and that's the way it's going to be. All we're trying to do, the only reason for the fine increase, is that we can get more people to buckle their seatbelt, and that will equate to a lower fatality rate.
And it's something interesting I was reading, and maybe this is something you guys hear from people on the roads. Well, my car has airbags now, or my car has this, it makes it safer. I'm fine, I don't need my seatbelt. It's not true.
Yeah,
It's just not true.
If you've ever seen the slow motion video of an airbag going off in a car and how violent that is, now it's a great safety feature, but it's meant to work in conjunction with a seatbelt.
That's right.
And also, if you're not wearing your seatbelt, you then become a hazard for other people in the car in a bad wreck.
Right.
Well, one of the things that we talk about in not wearing your seatbelt, it's the cost to society. So, maybe people feel like they're 10 feet tall and bulletproof, and nothing's going to happen to them, and unfortunately, we've seen way too many of the negative side of those stories. But think about work loss, think about congestion, think about insurance costs, think about emergency vehicles, think about all of those things that factor in to the cost. If you look back just a couple of years ago in the United States, unbelted crashes cost U.S. citizens about $10 billion.
Really?
So
that much money?
That much money, and that's nationwide. Wow. But think about this. I mean, so every man, woman, and child in the United States, that means that's an extra $32 per person that we paid because of people not wearing their... So we try to make it human, but we also try to make it financial as well.
Sure, absolutely. We're going to take a quick break, but I do want to mention tonight, if you have a question for either of these gentlemen, please give us a call, whether it be for the for Kendall Poole with the Governor's Highway Safety Office or Colonel Trott with the Tennessee Highway Patrol. We would love to hear from you tonight. The number is at the bottom of the screen. We will be right back with more Open Line. Stay with us.